Welcome to another One Good Turn video where me and the designer present you with a virtual overview style demo like you would see at a fair convention, but we're using TTS, Tabletopia. I think we're using TTS today since it's way easier. We'll go through a sample turn, show you how a game works in motion. The goal is to present an unbiased look. Yes, unbiased. I know it's hard, but an unbiased look at the game, see how it plays, you decide, and see if it's right for you or your group or not. Today, I am joined with Mr. Conor Mcgoey. How you doing, buddy?
Good. You, Tom? I never call you Tom. That's weird.
That's good because I like Thomas. Well, the ass part's very, very important. Like, you know, it's intrinsic. So I go by Tom Ass. But so you designed this like what, 2008? It's an older game? Or is it sooner?
A long time ago, 2000 and something like that, 2014, 2013.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is your first game, right? For Inside Up games, right?
Oh.
Cool. So I wanted to get to the point, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're the designer and the owner of Inside Up Games. So
that's right.
I appreciate you taking the time out today to show us this game. So there's a new expansion, right? New content.
Well, first of all, I will always take time because what you do with Board Game Revolution is amazing. Any other publishers who don't use Board Game Revolution should reach out to Thomas and his team, and they'll hook you up. They do great work, and you get great ROI. So that's important for everybody.
Awesome. And
anyways,
you know what?
I've plugged you for plugging me. Let's do it.
Right. We'll plug you. Plus, I try to only, include people of games that I like, not just games that aren't for us, right? That's what most reviewers do. But I think this is a great game anyway, but people can decide. So let's jump to the table and you can walk us through a setup here and what's going on.
For sure. I'm a little yellow hand everybody sees. Whether you know it or not, Summit is a survival game you can play a whole bunch of different ways, competitive, cooperative, or solo. So the way that it's been scripted by Coded Cardboard here on TTS for me, it shows you that. So we've already picked 2 players. We've already picked cooperative. So we have this side of the board. The board would flip over if we're playing competitive. We're going to put the extra mean events on. We're going to leave the easy events off. Well, we'll put the easy items on because Thomas hasn't played with me online yet. And we'll go to a medium difficulty setting. Everything's scripted nicely to get us going real quick. And to make it even easier, I'm not even going to tell Thomas what we're doing. I'm just going to start moving cards around here so that we can start playing. I'm going to take these ones. At the start of the game,
cards. If you're playing I'm going to cut you off. I'm just going to show the player boards.
Yeah, sure.
So while you set up some stuff there and then you can stage it, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So this is Summit. So at the start of the game, in a cooperative mode, you would be divvying up the equipment you want to take with you as you climb up the hill. So I'm going to give Thomas some rope. We'll give some of this stuff to our Sherpas to carry for us. They have extra supplies and whatnot.
And I'll hang myself.
As Thomas was showing us down on the player board down here, everyone has their own asymmetrical player board with their own stats and abilities. So at the start of the game, everyone actually has an option on how they want to outfit themselves for the expedition. So Thomas will be using Wilma, and he'll have to decide how much food and oxygen he wants to carry. But as you see on this track, the more he carries, the heavier he gets. And if you look down at the weight track, as that weight increases, he'll pass speed icons, which means his speed is going to decrease. So just like real life, the more supplies you want to carry, the more weight you're going to have. So let's just for fun mess with Thomas and say he's got this weight here. So if he looks at his items, he's got Gorp, which has got nothing. He's got a rope, which has a weight of 1. And then he has 2 weight in his food and 2 weight in his oxygen. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weight. We move his weight marker up to 5, which means that he's actually dropped 2 feet, which means his speed decreases by 2. So you can see the whole way the player board works is very logical. And it's also very thematic for how you want to get going. I'll do the same thing on my board real quick, just to kind of get us going real fast. For any new players, just so you know, at the end of the rulebook, there is a quick setup guide to help players for the first time. So it'll actually seed your boards for you, so you don't have to stress if you don't know what you're doing. But after you play a turn or 2, it'll make sense.
That's actually really cool.
Also, what's going to happen is everybody's going to have tiles in their hand. In the competitive mode, those tiles, you'd keep them hidden information. But in a cooperative game, we'd be sharing that information because we're cooperating. We're trying to get up the hill. The cooperative game is so difficult that players need to work together to survive the ascent and descent. And it is so hard that player elimination and self-sacrifice is actually common, where a player might say, hey, take my food and oxygen and go on without me. So what we have to do is get one player from the base camp all the way to the summit and back down. If the same player can do that, then we will win as a group. The more players that do it, the more points we will make. I have set the game to a medium difficulty, which decides where the base camp is going to be set and where the overall weather on the mountain is going to start. So again, a medium difficulty means a longer mountain and worse weather. And as that difficulty goes up, the mountain gets taller, the weather gets all stuff.
Sorry, you broke up a second, Connor.
So
go ahead and repeat that last thing.
Jump into it again.
Connor, sorry about that. This is live, so we have mistakes. You broke up a little bit there. So the last thing I heard was about the weather. Right over here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so basically the weather is also set depending on your difficulty setting. So where that weather marker starts and where that base camp starts are all defined by how easy or hard you want your expedition to be.
Gotcha.
We're just going to jump right into the game to get playing to make it nice and easy. There is a whole setup that we kind of just skipped over real briefly, but just so you can see how the game's played. On a turn, a player is very simply going to be laying tiles from their hand onto the board. So to show Thomas how to do that, I'm going to bring over one of my tiles and I'm going to connect it short edge to short edge. And then I'm going to count each of those trail point knots. So looking at my player board, I have a speed of 5, but with my trekking poles, I actually have a speed of 6. So I can move a total of 6 of those knots. So I'm going to start moving up the mountain by going 1, 2, 3. And then as soon as I can move, if I have the movement ability left, so I've gone 3 of 6, I can add more tiles. 3, 4, 5. I've added another tile. And then 6. But you know what? Actually, I don't want to put that icy tile. I'm not going to use my full movement because I'm going to work with Thomas. And we're going to climb up together. So I've used my movement. I've walked up the mountain. I've played some nice tiles down. There are different types of tiles we'll see, and I'll explain as we play them. But those are neutral ones. I went on. They're nice and easy, which is good for both of us. And I'm going to roll these 2 event die I've brought down lower for us. We'll give them a quick, maybe we'll give them a quick roll. There we go. And we're going to resolve both. Oh, great. We're going to resolve both of these things. The first thing is the blue event die. When that happens, I would draw a blue event card if I had got the mountain icon. I didn't, so it's a blank, which means I don't have to draw one of those cards. And that's a good thing because those cards are actually quite bad. Anything bad that can happen to you on a mountain is on those cards. So nothing on there. So I'm going to go over to the other die, which is the weather die. This one here is showing the blizzard icon, which means that all players are going to be affected by the overall weather on the mountain. So this blizzard track that I mentioned earlier where it starts is going to go up by 1 level already. And it's going to tell us that all players not in camp have to consume 2 food. Now, Thomas is still in camp, so he's safe, so he doesn't have to eat any food. But I do. I have to consume 2 food. I'll go over to my player board, and I'll drop my marker down from 9 to 7. There we go, those 2 spaces. And I've now eaten, and my turn is over. At the end of my turn, I'm going to draw tiles back up to my tile hand size of 3. And I'll just put them, I'll throw them out on the game board so that Thomas can see them too. And then my turn is over, and it's already going to go to Thomas's turn. So if you look at Thomas's board, he has a movement of 4 because he's got more supplies than me. But he also has a rope. Now his rope he could discard to increase his movement by 3 for 1 turn, or he could save it for later in the game, or maybe even combine it with other items like the harness or the figure 8 descender. So Thomas, what do you want to
do? Yeah, you missed my joke. I said I'm fat, that's why I'm slow, and you're just trying to cover it. But that's okay. We I'm out of shape. So what are my choices for actions?
You know what I would do just to get the game going? Let's use that rope right away.
Okay, there we go.
So we're going to discard it. It's going to give you 3 movement. Now, when you discard that, you're actually also dropping the weight that it has, which is going to have an immediate effect. So when you drop that weight, it actually makes you a little bit lighter because you're using the rope. You're leaving it behind. So your speed is going to increase when your weight decreases. So now you actually have a speed of 5 plus 3 more for this one, which gives you a movement of 8. So you can move 8 rope points up the mountain. Now you could follow the trail that I've started, which is a good trail, or you could create your own trail. If I were you, I would follow me up the brown rope, counting those knots.
Right. So where am I at camp here? Right.
Yeah, you're at this little sign right here on camp. So you're going to
down there.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's 1, and then 2, and then 3, and 4.
And 4. And now the nice thing is in the cooperative mode, there's a leapfrog mechanic where I give you my hand and I pull you past me. So you're actually going to have to count that knot that I'm on either, which is why staying together is so nice.
Right. So I would have like 4 more to go, right?
That's right.
So
and you can now pull tiles out of your hand and you're going to connect them to the tile that's currently on the board.
Is there an advantage for not spending your movement points or no?
Not generally, besides what I did. So I stuck with one movement less so that I wouldn't have to put an icy tile on the board, just because icy tiles are going to slow us down. These yellow tiles that you can also see, those are thin air tiles. That's going to make you use the oxygen that you're carrying. So we're going to try to avoid putting those down.
Let's use this one.
Now, if you want, get out of here. Those are my tiles. Your tiles are in your hand.
I thought it was shared. Oh, they're in my hand. You know, I should probably pay attention to that. Why don't we play them and let's put those on the table so everybody can see them. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly. Oh, no. You got a whole bunch of thin air.
Yeah,
oh, come on. Who invited Thomas on this expedition? He's trying to kill us.
All right, that's back here eating king dongs and smoking ganja and wondering what's going on here. So these are all not good. There's one. There's one.
Now, that's a good one. The issue that we're going to have is it's actually not going to connect to the rope.
Oh, shoot. You can't locate it?
So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use one of your other ones. Any of these three will work. Put one of those three down first.
So do you get to rotate the tiles or no?
You do.
Okay. So there was no way to rotate that one to make it connect? I thought it...
No, not because it would be long side to long side. But you'll see now we're going to use your nice tile in 1 second. But first, jump my character and keep counting. You'd be at number 5 now, and there's a knot just in front of me.
After 4 comes 5. Right there, right? And then, whoops, taking the tile. But my guy's drunk still. 6 and 7. So we got.
You know what I would do is I wouldn't go. Whoa! Now I'm messing with your tile. I wouldn't bother going that way. I would just keep going straight up the mountain.
Oh,
you're going to see why.
Okay.
So you were at 6 right here. So grab that nice tile. Oh wait, see, I'm rushing things. You entered a yellow tile. A yellow tile is thin air, which means you have to use oxygen. So now go back to your player board, and in your oxygen track, you're going to have to consume 1 oxygen. So drop that cube marker down 1 space. And now when you did that, you passed a weight icon, which means your weight from your weight track is going to drop down 1 space.
Right.
There you go. It hasn't affected your speed yet, but next time you drop weight, it will affect your speed, and you'll actually be going faster as you use up these resources you're carrying. So you've already paid that for entering the tile. So now you still have 2 more movement if you want, and that's exactly the tile we want to use. And you can use Q or E to rotate that tile.
Yeah, is that so? Let's do it real super slow. All dramatic, like, okay. Look at that. Oh, almost made it. You can fix that if you want.
I wonder what's happening here.
This is what makes everybody love TTS. It's like we're setting a drunk example.
There we go.
There we go.
You're at 6 when you were here.
Yeah, so I can go 2 more. So I got to go to the rope, right? So that's 7, and then that's 8 up here. And then you can piggyback off me, right?
Exactly. And now at the end of your turn, you're going to highlight both of those dice, and you're going to hit R to roll them.
Right, let's see. I bet you it's bad.
Ooh, okay, so you did get one of the event cards, the blue mountain. So go to the top of the board and draw the top card off the blue event stack.
Okay.
Oh, I lied to you. You could use the button under your player board too, because Ken scripted everything for us.
Thanks for making me scroll all the way up here, man. I don't even know how to get them off the deck. I'm really bad at this.
Oh, you just got to click and drag quickly instead of slowly. There you go.
Okay.
F will flip it.
Right. And it's like I've done a bunch of these. You think I'd know TTS by now, but I don't. Whatever. Solid ground. Place token.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right. Place token on your, I can't read, on your current tile. This is this tile and adjacent tiles can no longer be affected.
You can also use the option key to make the card zoom in on your screen if you want.
Right. No, I knew that, man. It's just, we're live and I'm razzled from what we took 3 times to get this video going. So.
Okay, I'm going to grab the solid ground token. I'm going to add it to the tile you're currently on. So that tile is actually now solid and locked in, which is really, really nice because bad things happen on this mountain all the time.
Let me catch up. I was letting people read it, and I'm just showing the tile now. And
say that again.
I'm just letting people catch up that we're watching. I zoomed in on the card. There's the token. So this tile is so it's what does this token do then basically?
Basically locking these tiles down so they can't be further affected, and there are a lot of things that affect tiles in this game.
Ah, gotcha. Change the conditions of them. Okay.
Exactly. So now that you've done the event die, you now get to do the food die, and you actually rolled the best thing possible. You had a sunny day, meaning you don't need to consume any food at all.
Sweet.
So your turn is done. If you go below your player board, you can click tile twice and draw up the 2 tiles that you had at the end of that you used up. So I'm going to go. I'm going to place tiles. I have, again, that movement of 6. So I'm going to come up past you. I enter the yellow tile that you put down, which means that I have to use 1 oxygen as well. I'll use that oxygen now. That drops my weight. That
You have to do
increases my
oxygen
speed.
every
That happens.
notch on this tile?
Pardon me?
Do you have to do oxygen every notch on a tile?
No, anytime you
Okay.
enter a thin air tile.
Perfect.
So I entered it. I paid my 1 oxygen. I dropped weight because of that, and I increased my speed, and I get that bonus immediately. So I'm actually moving 7. So that was 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to jump you as well because we're working together. 3, 4, 5. And I think I'm going to have to use, what do you got? You got those ones. I'm looking at your tiles, working together. I'm going to drop this one here. Oh, I guess I'm too far away. It doesn't want to do its thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
There we go. 6, 7. Again, I walked into a thin air place. So that means I got to use another oxygen. Oh, my oxygen's running low. My weight's getting better. And then later in the game, when you start running out of supplies, you're actually going to start paying health for each supply you don't have. So you do bleed out for a while before you freeze to death on the mountain. I played my tiles. I've used all my movement. I'm going to roll both of the dice. What's going to happen? All right, so I got an event card. I'm going to use the event button below my player board to draw a card quickly. Oh, no! This is great for the demo. It's bad for us. So we've got a bottleneck, which is a double black diamond card. You can see it in the bottom. So remember when I said I was going to turn on the hard cards and I laughed? Well, it bit me in the butt.
Good job.
We got a bottleneck. It's going to flip the 2 closest unoccupied tiles upside down. So it means it's going to flip this one. I'll let you get back to the game board first.
Yep.
So this is unoccupied. And this is unoccupied. Snap. So we've now got you trapped on that tile on the board, which means we're going to have to come up with something clever to get you out of this position. Now, let's look.
Sorry, I've got the sounds going. That's hilarious. So that's why that token protected us, right? So it didn't at least move.
See?
Yeah, I forgot about that, actually. Now I think about it, these are not. The adjacent ones are protected. How about that?
Oh, you're amazing. That's right. So those 2 both unflip. See, Thomas just saved our butt. And these would now be the closest ones. So we got an issue at the bottom of the mountain. There's a snow slide, bottleneck, and it closed off that route. So when we come back to camp, we're going to have to come around the side here, or maybe find items to dig these out or find another way around. So leave it to me to break the mountain for Thomas. Sorry about that.
That's okay, man. But at least I caught that.
Exciting.
So that's why I was wondering. I like that token. I was like, wait, I need to learn about that. So events can affect us. Yeah, so we escaped that, and then you got 1 snow.
That's right. I rolled a single snowflake token. So I am going to consume 1 food on my food track. That goes down by 1 space. And my turn is over. So I would normally just pass these dice over to Thomas and show it was his turn.
Cool. I think that's a good place to show some of the turns. We can probably pause with that. How about okay, so we know we're climbing up the mountain. We've got, situations that are going to change. It's very thematic, man. This is really cool. So you've got a lot of things interwoven into this. So what other conditions? We got to get to the top? Is it just trying to get up there? And when do we get equipment and stuff? I would assume at camps to show up.
Yeah, so that's the hard thing. In the competitive game, it's a little bit different from the cooperative game. In the cooperative game, it's based a little bit more on reality, where you'd be going from the highest camp possible to try to make a 1-day trek to the summit and back down. So there is no halfway camp. In the competitive game, there is a halfway camp where you can go lick your wounds and kind of resupply. But at the start of the game, we had these items that we each got. We can use them, and our Sherpas that we each have are carrying extra supplies for us. That is because we don't have that halfway camp to resupply from. So they're carrying extra oxygen and extra food for us, as well as some extra items. Unfortunately, when I designed the game, I designed a whole bunch of new event cards that actually get shuffled into the event deck, and they'll start targeting these Sherpas, making the game hard for us again. So you can see why with these different events and with the weather, how difficult it's going to be to get to the top of the mountain. But let's say you made it all the way up there. If things were going bad for me, I might actually just start stashing supplies for you, trying to leave some, oxygen and stuff behind that you might use, and give you a nice trail back down to the camp. If you're playing competitively, then this board flips over and now you're racing up and down the mountain. This time of the day track, we didn't touch because it's a first time play. But as you get more experience with the game, you'd be actually moving this marker up by 1 hour after all players have played. And whenever that marker is in the morning or the night, whenever it's really dark, your movement's halved. So you actually have to worry about the time of the day when you're doing this trek as well. In the competitive mode, that's actually replaced with a position track. So you'll be racing up and down the mountain, making points for pole position. And then this track over here on the right, which is the Sherpa track, that is actually replaced with a karma track. So during the race, you'll be playing red karma cards to actively help or hurt your friends. So let's say I needed a couple more end game points. So I gave Thomas some of my food or oxygen, and I'd gain some karma points. Maybe Thomas had a lot of had a lot of victory points, so he wasn't so worried about it. So he lost some karma points by cutting my rope and throwing me back down the hill. It's all kind of allowing players to do what they want, be as nice as they want, as mean as they want, but there is a karma repercussion for that in the game, which makes it kind of fun.
Cool.
So that's the difference between the competitive and the cooperative game. There are 3 expansions. The Yeti expansion adds a Yeti, this adorable little guy actually who's going to hunt you on the mountain, try and eat you and your friends. There's a teams expansion, which allows you to work together with teams, either competitively or cooperatively, and it adds new climbing ladders, which we can actually place over top of existing tiles. So let's say that those tiles were flipped, and all of a sudden, there we go, Thomas is left behind because we didn't have that lovely token. Well, I could throw one of my climbing ladders on here and kind of get you out of a bind. And then the newest one, which is hitting Game Found on Tuesday the 28th, which is tomorrow for us, will be the Sanity expansion. And in Sanity, you now have a new Sanity board, which will be placed next to your player board. And on that, you have a focus network and a Sanity track. And players have to use their abilities and their mental functions to decide what they're focusing on, what in-game immediate bonuses they want, and what ongoing bonuses they want to use. And of course, they're going to be affecting each other's sanity and their own as they try to make this dangerous trek up the mountain.
Very cool. Adds a lot. So, man, I'm just trying to process it all. What do you like most about the Sanity expansion? Like, or let me ask you, what's your favorite expansion?
That's hard. It might be the Sanity expansion just because it's the newest one for me, whereas the other ones I've had years of development and playing with them. But my favorite thing about Summit it's always been the same, is that wherever I am, whether it's online or at a convention in real life, is people come and find me and they tell me stories of what happened to them on the mountain. It's so fun for me. They have these epic adventures of when things went right or when things went horribly wrong. And it just creates kind of a lasting memory that they share with me. And that's always kind of my highlight. And I just really feel like the Sanity expansion is going to add to this awesomeness of storytelling.
And speaking of storytelling, I mean, how cool is it that an idol Trey Parker, right, tells you this is one of his favorite games? Like, how cool was that to hear on the Dice Tower?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was in the middle of a different campaign, so my head was not in Summit mode at all. And then, all of a sudden, everyone's messaging me and telling me what's going on. So I jump over to the video, and Trey names it his #1 game of all time.
That's awesome.
Which is hilarious. He loved the cooperative mode, which we showed today. Apparently, he hates the competitive mode, which is funny because I also have videos from other content creators who absolutely love the competitive mode and hate the cooperative mode. So I guess it means it's checking the boxes. When I designed the game, I was really hoping to make that game that can be played competitively, cooperatively, or solo. So if you like competitive games, you should love it. If you like cooperative games, you should love it. And if you want to play solo and try to beat the mountain on your own, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I would interject that from a design perspective, I feel you did a good job. I'm not a fan when people say, I hate that mode, because it implies like, oh, was there something wrong with that mode? I like co-ops. What do you mean you don't like it? Oh, you don't like co-ops. So yeah, I get it. I like that there's both in this game. I've had this since, I think we helped you promote this originally, man. And I played both, and I have not played it solo, but I like, they work great. You don't have to be mean, and the karma system lets you combat that alpha player if they're going to be too much of a dick. That it's going to screw them over too. So you can play co-op for people who don't like co-ops, because that might give them a chance to enjoy it for once. You know, it's really cool.
That's right. It's funny to me because I'll hear it often about how Summit's the meanest game you could play because you can just do whatever you want.
You're playing with
people.
Jerks.
And I always laugh because Summit's not the mean game. Summit gives you the option of being very nice or very mean, and it's up to the players how they want to do it. So is it Summit that's the mean game, or is it the person you're playing with? That's up to you.
Exactly. Right. So, well, I appreciate it, man. I want to keep this short, and I know you got a lot to plan. Technically, this is coming out, I think, after the campaign, so we pre-recorded it live. It's one take. It's unedited. It's just, it is what it is. But for those who are seeing this after and then saying it's come out today, it launches on is it Tuesday the 28th, right, of July?
28th.
Yeah, how long is the campaign?
21 days.
Cool. So I thank you and Inside Up Games for including me in this campaign. I hope we were able to show people enough about the game to help them make a decision for themselves one way or another. And as always, if you like these kind of videos or what we're doing, it's new for me. So please give me a like, do a subscribe, all that nonsense. And until next time, thank you, Connor. I think we're okay and we're done. So I don't like outros. Just hit end. Peace.